Welcome back to the Rebelcast. As you watch this channel, and those of you who continue to support us, and we're very grateful, you notice that when I say interview, it's usually me talking to someone who I'm interested in for an extended period of time. We pretty much shoot the shit. I get to pick their brains and find out who they are as people. But then I had an epiphany. I'm bringing you people that I find interesting, and as far as that goes, why not bring you someone who I'm close to, someone who I consider not just a confidant, not just an ally, but a real friend, someone who we've verbally battled and jousted over the years. We don't always agree on everything, but I find his opinion to be riveting and something that needs to be heard. I wouldn't consider him the most popular YouTuber in the world, but he's definitely someone whose opinion needs to be evaluated and taken into consideration whenever it comes to the idea of electronic gaming, PC gaming, whatever you make, whatever your branding is. He's a brilliant young mind and someone who deserves the credit he deserves. I know him as Snow, but hopefully you'll grow to know and love him as much as I do. I give you the Snowman.
Any more ass kissing there, Dan? Or
Look, act like you're special. I do this for everybody.
No, I appreciate it, Dan. I never see myself as like a big content creator or like an influencer, I guess you could say these days, because that's what everybody calls themselves. But I think the problem that I've noticed, and this is why I make the videos and the content that I make, is that a lot of people are afraid to say the truth. I don't know why in the last 20 years or so we've gone from, and then this encompasses way more than just gaming, to keep that in mind, folks. But it's people who tell the truth are deemed as problems, or I just don't get it. I don't get why telling the truth, like saying I like this, or
before we go there, though, we have to start at the beginning. I knew you as Snowman, before I knew you by your real name, before all that, you were just a guy that I knew that I randomly met in a stream named Super Snow.
That was my name for a long time, but I found it to be just granted, of course, I made this YouTube channel in like 2010. So it's been over 10 years. So, but
you've taken hiatuses, and I think that's been a detriment to your growth, because you do have taken those detriments. But way back when, where did the name Super Snow come from, and what made you start doing YouTube content?
I did YouTube content because I enjoyed YouTube. I mean, again, this is over 10 years ago. So YouTube was completely different back then compared to what it is now. Back then, there wasn't drama channels everywhere. There wasn't stupid challenges. There wasn't YouTube Shorts. It was just, this is back right, I think, when YouTube was actually bought out too by Google.
We're talking about the primeval era. Like, we're talking like the Boogie era and the Dark Side Phil era and the era where people were like, if you had content, people would watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's that old. But I mean, the point is, I was watching the OGs. I'm talking, we're going so far. We're talking about Candy Mountain. We're talking about Kelly Shoes. We're talking about like original YouTube content that was creative. That was, you could be unfiltered, for example, like Angry Video Game Nerd. He could curse up a storm and nobody cared because, well, it's YouTube. YouTube nowadays is basically trying to turn itself into TV. So back then, I had an entire buffet worth of content to watch from, insert YouTuber here, just pick one. I watched almost everybody back then. So, but to pick like one specific person that inspired me to do all of this and make my own YouTube channel and all that, it probably was Angry Joe back in the day, because that's who I kind of wanted to be. But, nowadays I don't do that kind of content, and I don't think I ever will. But again, we're going so far back here. I mean, where do I even begin? I don't even know, to be fair with you. It's been so long too, because and again, a lot of these YouTubers are gone. People just leave because YouTube nowadays is nothing but just, censor yourself or sell your soul if you want to make it big. And that's part of the reason. And you brought up earlier how I take a lot of breaks. Well, that's part of the reason, Dan, because if I can't even make a simple YouTube video talking about, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto 5 and not being able to be like, man, this game fucking sucks or whatever, without it being censored or not showing out, what's the point, man?
Well, I agree with you. Like, I mean, not to go into too much detail, and Trips and I will talk about it at a later date, but we're dealing with an issue where we can't put up a video that's really good. People really enjoy it because certain people don't want that truth up, and it's fine. It is what it is. But I understand that. I understand, like, and that's why I love your content. And I love you as a person because you've never filtered yourself. As far as you and I have known each other, we like, there was apprehension at first because we came from communities. Let's just say that, but you've never filtered who you were, and like that's a quality that is lacking so much nowadays. Someone who's willing to like fucking you are the living embodiment of the fucking middle finger to everything that tells you not to do what you do.
And I don't see a point in letting people control you, dude. I mean, you know, especially nowadays with everything going on in the world, telling the truth is so taboo. It makes me question, like, what is going on? I mean, look, folks, I get it. You know, if truth and honesty were to completely be the number one thing from the government to your average Joe walking the street, the whole system would collapse. I get that. I'm not stupid, but you can't. Here's what drives me fucking nuts, dude. Okay, you have a game come out. Okay, it's a decent game. Let's say Fallout 76 right now, for example. I like that game. And I should be able to say I like that game without people giving me tons of shit for it. And I don't know, man. You just can't. You can't be real anymore. That's something I've noticed as well. And when I say real, folks, I'm not talking about being an asshole. I'm talking about just being honest. You know, if you like something, you should be able to say you like it. You shouldn't have to say, "Oh, I don't like this thing because everybody else dislikes it." You know, and that's something I just can't be that person.
So we got a bit off track. The Super Snowman.
I'm sorry. I do that.
You're good. But that's why, like I said, I love talking to you because like we'll go and we'll start on one subject and we'll like 2 hours later, oh shit, we forgot what we're because we just go on a tangent. That's just me and you. So the Super Snow name. When I first met you, you were Super Snow. Where did the Super Snow come from?
Okay, so this is a far back. I haven't told this one in years. When I started my YouTube channel, this is actually kind of embarrassing now that I remember it. I was really obsessed with Final Fantasy 13. That's where the name Snow comes from. I really liked the character, and I was just, you know, because I mean, we're going again 10 plus years in the past. I just was making a YouTube channel, and I think I tried to call myself like Snow, just simple Snow, but it's like, you know, YouTube's like, okay, you can't do that. Here's some suggestions. They came up with Super Snow. I put 17 at the end because of Halo. You know, I should have put
117. John 117.
And that's where the name came from. I changed it to Snowman like 2-3 years ago just so that way it looks better. I mean, you know, it's always going to be Super Snow 17. That especially nowadays with YouTube, they show you the original name from the channel.
Yeah.
But that's where it came from. I used to do music videos, like gaming music videos back in the day. Yeah. So, but that's where the name came from. And I could have changed everything, but I still like the Snow name. It works, you know.
So as far as that goes, like not to go into too much detail, you and I were in those very dark, nasty drama communities, and we got through that. But I remember the moment that we became friends. I don't know if you consider this the moment, but there was a guy that we knew named, I'll just say his name, we'll just call him Chad. A guy named Chad, and he was there, and you were there, and you were playing Resident Evil 4. And I'd known the game, but I didn't know the gravity of how important this game would be in the landscape of gaming as a whole. But you were crossing a bridge. You were fighting some mutated fucking monster piece of crap. There was a bunch of like boxes and barrels. And I think you were about to fight. You were about to fight Krauser or something like that. And I realized this guy is more than just shit talk. Like he may talk shit, but there's a method to his madness. Do you remember that day?
I don't remember a lot from those days. A lot of things, especially with YouTube these days, is kind of a blur because a lot has happened. No, I don't remember that, to be fair to Dan. I play so many video games, it's hard to remember one specific time I was playing a game, to be fair to you.
Well, I'll say this. You went on a tangent about somebody saying something, and maybe, I don't know if you still like Resident Evil 6, but you had said something along the lines of, why don't people just give the fucking game a chance? I get it. It's not everybody's game. I understand it may be bad, but at least fucking try the game. You were so pissed off about Metacritic and all these other people putting out like bad reviews within 10 minutes of the game coming out. Like you went on a tangent, but you were so passionate about it. What made you start being passionate about video games? What was it about that like of all the things that you could, because you're not a stupid guy by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
The
thing about it is, too, Dan, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm also not. I know my limitations as well. That's the thing. I'm not a guy that walks around waving his dick in people's faces. You know what I'm saying? Being like, I'm the top dog. Like, dude, I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm bad at. And I'm sorry, but go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, yeah, I'm not that person either.
What was it about video games that made you go, you know what? I'm passionate about this. I want to have an opinion on this. What, and you went into it. What was it about video games in general?
I just, I love video. To be stereotypical here for 2 seconds, I've always loved games since I was a kid. I mean, typical gamer shit, right? But again, I noticed that, a lot of people, okay, I'll give you an example, especially that you bring up Resident Evil. I remember when Resident Evil 5 came out, right? Everybody was saying that, oh, it's a good game, but it's not scary. And it's like, well, that's not a reason to hate the game. Like you can dislike it for that, but it doesn't mean it's a bad game. Same thing, like I said, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
It wasn't. No, I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just agreeing with you. It's an excellent game. I think, as me and Trips have played it many a times. I love that game. It's one of my top 5 greatest games for me of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. It's not the greatest game ever made, but it doesn't make it a bad game. And I noticed that, especially in the gaming world, a lot of people would talk about things in gaming, but they do this thing, and it drives me completely insane. It's called forced positivity. They're trying to stay on the good side of the company, or they're trying to get noticed by the company, or maybe they just don't want to start any waves. So, they'll talk about a game and they'll be like, oh, it's good. Ha, 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 ha. I'm not going to talk about the problems, but it's like, but then on the other hand, I'll make a video, be like, hey, this thing has this, that, and the other, and be like, oh, you're too negative. And it's like, no, I'm telling the truth. Because here's the thing. I'm not a part of the PlayStation community or the Xbox.
Let me clarify something. Let me clarify. And I want people to understand, when he says the truth, he's speaking his truth. He's not saying it for everybody. He's speaking his mind. So, like, I don't want anybody thinking that you're some.
But I'm not bullshitting, though. That's the difference.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Know what I mean? Like, if I tell you, oh, this game has this glitch, I'm not just pulling it out of my ass. I'm like, yo, this actually happened to me, right? Like, and it's something that even nowadays, it's 10 times worse nowadays. But back then I noticed it. I'm like, dude, you can like a game, but you can also criticize it at the same time without hating it. That's again, I'll give it another example. BioShock Infinite, dude, I don't like that game at all. But I'm not going to pretend that it's the worst game ever because I suddenly just don't like it. But you know what I mean? Like, you can't just dislike a game without being called a hater, and you can't just like a game without being, I don't know, man. It's so backwards in pretty much everything these days. I'm sorry, I'm probably going off 15.
No, you're fine, because like would be one of our normal conversations. I think one of the ones we agreed on was so I love the Mass Effect series, that, and like I'm getting a Mass Effect tattoo pretty soon. But what I'm saying is, I love the first 2. I thought the story was great. And that third one, I thought the gameplay was good. I loved everything about the game. The ending was, in my opinion, trash. But it doesn't take away from the value of that game. And I was in the minority, but I was very upset with the idea that they wrote a fucking petition to have the ending basically switched over. My thought was, this was their fucking design. This was their creation. They put it together. If you didn't like it, hell, you didn't like it. You know how you get back at these guys? You don't buy their next fucking game. Instead, no, we're gonna fucking stick our thumbs up our asses, get a petition, and fucking be SJWs and fucking and that's, I think that for me was the beginning of this fucking woke ass gaming culture. It really bothered me. But you were like the only person that agreed with me. You were like, no, I get it. Yeah, the ending sucked, but hey, it was they chose to do this. It doesn't make it a bad game. It just makes it, that's their decision. You didn't like it. It doesn't mean you have to fucking get pitchforks and shit. It was.
The thing about it is, though, Dan, the thing, you know the difference is, did you notice how you were able to say that without me interrupting you, calling you insert name here, blah, blah, blah. I didn't try to insult you, insult your intelligence. How dare you? You know what I mean? Like, you can't, what we're doing right now, having a civil conversation, mind you, is so rare these days to see in the gaming world. again, it baffles me, man. Like, are we seriously saying that people are so immature these days? You can't even have a simple civil conversation about video games, whether you like a game or not. You can have a civil conversation and act like a grown ass adult about whether you like a game. Look, folks, these are video games, mind you. This is not politics. I can understand getting heated over politics, but if you're threatening somebody's life over video games, yo, dude, you need some serious mental, and it's everywhere though. It's fucking everywhere these days.
I'm going to transition, and look, we're about to get controversial here. And it's not something we normally do in these, but Snow, you're my boy, and I know we can talk about this. One of the most controversial issues going on right now. I'm a huge fucking Harry Potter fan. I've seen
all. You're going to be kicking the hornets this one.
I am, and we're just going to do it. This is me and you. We can have this civil conversation. I love the Harry Potter series. I've like everything about it. I'm man enough to admit I teared up at the very fucking last scene of the very last movie when you hear that da 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 da.
Yeah, I love that theme. It's one of the best themes in movie history.
I got choked up because I remember being fucking 13 years old and seeing the fucking Chamber of Secrets. I remember watching, spoilers, certain Dumbledore and certain other characters catch it. I remember that stuff. I remember Cerberus Snape saying, always.
Severus.
I'm sorry, Severus Snape.
That's all right. Dude, I could barely pronounce Hermione back in the day. I thought her name was Hermione, for God's sake. I don't blame you, dude.
I remember him looking at Dumbledore and saying, always.
Yeah, dude, they were good movies. Whether you agree with us or not, they were still pretty good movies. I mean, they didn't make all that money for no good reason. And dude, that was in my opinion, that was the Star Wars of my generation. That was one of those movies that really made you go, wow, this looks, I mean, especially the early movies, how good the practical effects were, the CGI, all that.
Basilisk. You remember the fucking Basilisk?
Yeah, that was a good ass movie. And not to mention, by the way, Dan, I don't know if you played any of the video games back in the day, but yo, I played Chamber of Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone on PC back in the day, and yo, man, those are still some of the best movie licensed games. We're gonna get to.
Harry Potter. Hogwarts Legacy is come out. It's coming out on the 10th for those who have not pre-ordered it, but I think it's out today for those who got that deluxe.
Yeah, it's got like 1 million people right now at the time of this video watching it on Twitch, so it's doing pretty freaking well too.
And this is what kills me. There is a movement out there that says if you play, this is how serious this shit's got, boys and girls. I want you to hear it. Understand, I have no dislike for anybody of any kind of community, whatever you may be, whatever you may identify as, whatever you do. I'm not here to judge that, but think about the severity of this. So there are people out there, not everybody, but there's a small fraction of people that are judging people over playing a video game.
I think there's actually I think I saw this earlier on Twitter. They actually have something set up recently. You're not going to believe this.
Oh no, I don't know exactly where you're going to go, but
yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I know what you're talking about, Dan. This is ridiculous, folks. Look, you don't have to agree with what J.K. Rowling said before. To be fair to Dan, I don't even know what the hell she said, and I
know it was. Look, from my understanding, it was very, let's just say, tabooed for her to say that. She shouldn't have said that.
Like I said, but the thing about it is, though, Dan, at the end of the day, regardless of what she said, she could have said to kill every single person on planet Earth for all I care. Guess what? It doesn't affect whether or not I'm going to like Hogwarts Legacy, and it shouldn't affect whether you like it either. Look, folks, again, if you're a part of that community that is pissed off at her, I get it, dude. If what you said is true, Dan, and what she said is wrong, hey, take it up with her. Don't take it up with the Hogwarts Legacy.
I haven't heard it either. From my understanding, it was very. Perhaps I should go and look at it, but the game is an extension of a world she created, right? It's based on a story that she wrote. In all honesty, from my understanding, she had no interaction with the production of the game. She simply gave them the rights to her fucking story to make a game.
I don't even think she's making money off of it either. So it's not like she's profiting from it to begin with anyway.
If she is or if she isn't, the core argument here is that it's a fucking video game.
Folks, again, you can have your little crusade for all I care. But be my guest. I'm all for freedom of speech, but don't come after me pretending I hate transgender people or whatever the fucking problem is because I bought a video game from a franchise I used to love when I was a kid, and I haven't. Look, name me a very, very good Harry Potter game from the last 10 years. I couldn't name you one. But this one looks like a fun game. And I have been waiting since like 2002, 2004 to have a fun, open world, creative, just over again. I know I've said this like 3 times, right? Fun Harry Potter game.
Bullshit. You're going to go in there and Avada Kedavra everybody. That's what you're going to.
I'm not. No, actually, I'm actually going to get into it. If it's supposed to be a role playing game, I'm going to get into it because again, I like Harry Potter. I would love to be
and you and I think to some degree, because I'm definitely a method game player. I immerse myself in the characters I create, or I immerse myself into a game. And you and I are similar like that because you get passionate about games because it's an escape, right?
I have like fucking 5,000 hours on Final Fantasy 14. I do a shit ton of role playing in these role playing games because it's fucking fun, folks. That's the problem. That's another thing you people of the gaming world today fail to understand. It's like that old saying, if it's not fun, why bother? If you're not having fun with the game, then just don't play it. Don't buy it. Nobody's forcing you to buy Hogwarts Legacy. Nobody is forcing you to agree with whatever J.K. Rowling said if you buy that game, folks. You need to understand that that is the core issue here. You can be upset with J.K. Rowling all you want. You can hate her. You can dislike Harry Potter. But guess what? That's your problem, yo. It's not mine.
Well, hold on.
Not. Hey, that's not my. That's not my can of worms to dig into.
I'll take that a step further. You can be mad at her. You can be mad at J.K. Rowling all you want, but don't be mad at the people that are enjoying what I said before, a video game.
And nobody should be losing their fucking job over playing this video game because somebody already has. And again, I know you're going to get into it, Dan, but I can't hold it back anymore. If you're tracking people who are playing this game on Twitch to try to ruin their life, you need mental fucking help.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Talking about ruining people's lives with video games. Let's move on a little bit to a similar topic as far as that. You and I think you were the first person to introduce me to Dark. You and our mutual friend Koopa, who I probably will have on this channel at some point or another.
You fucking should, Dan, because he's an amazing individual as well.
Yes, absolutely. He's getting back into YouTube, so that fingers crossed, right? He's hilarious. Like when he rages, his rages are funny.
Oh my god, yeah, totally. It's one of the funny dude. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto with him recently. He's fucking hilarious.
So, we actually I got Trips and I both got Switches. So we just got Pokemon. We're probably going to get into Mario Kart. We'll see where it goes. Like I'm not promising anything. I'm just letting you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know not to listen. Yeah, we'll see that when it happens, right, Dan?
So, I lost my train of thought. You got me into Darkside Phil and Wings of Redemption and all of that other stuff, right? We were talking about
unfortunately, yes, unfortunately I did. And yeah, that was
but you also understood, like whenever I started, I don't know if you were there when I started the hashtag give DSP a chance.
Yeah, I remember all that. You were there, you were trying to see, yeah, because I know where you're going with this. You were basically just giving the man a chance, like I was saying with the video game. Hey, just give it before you judge something, give it a chance.
And again, like I can sit there and say that, look, as a content creator, right? He's not perfect. I'm not going to sit there and say
nobody truly is either.
Philip Burnell is not a perfect person, right? He is, and I'm not doxing, and his name's out there. Everybody knows fucking Phil's name.
Yeah, who doesn't know his name at this point?
And like I said, I've created artwork for Darkside Phil. I've gone out of my way. Like I love, he's like in the interactions I've had with Darkside Phil, he's been nothing but a gentleman to me, and never been a prick. You know, I've wanted to interview him, but I understand.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck with that one.
I understand his apprehension. I get that. I'm not here to but I will always sing the praises of the man because in my interactions with him, he's been nothing but a sweetheart. That being said, I get that people don't like him. Great. But don't get mad at the people that donate to him because they are making a conscious decision to do so. If you don't want to donate to him, fucking fabulous. You don't have to. That's why he's not forcing you to do anything. My problem also exists when the man's filing for bankruptcy and you have people buying his debt just to enter the call to try to ruin his life. How far is too fucking far? And you and I agree on that to understanding. And it's like, what the fuck? This is a form of entertainment. When did people get so much fucking cojones to think that they have the right to dictate what people do? No different with fucking Wings of Redemption. Wings, I think, is a dick. He's a piece of shit, in my opinion, and done stupid shit. But no one should fake creating an account trying to make him out to be a pedophile or cause him to lose his job with Uber Eats because they don't like him. I think that's sick.
Well, here's my thing when it comes to DSP, Wings of Redemption, anybody who has like that really bad internet not persona, but just when people think about them, they think negatively. Like, dude, if you people were to stop talking about them, if you were to stop making these 20 different videos a week on these guys, they would be out working at a McDonald's right now, which you basically want that for them anyways. So it's like that old saying, don't feed the fucking troll. You're just feeding them. Like, dude, if I, well, this is fair to you, it's not really my fault at this point, but like, dude, if I hadn't said anything about you to DSP, he wouldn't have got your money. He wouldn't have gotten your attention. And granted, it's not like you gave him negative attention or bad attention. No. But the point being is, okay, if you don't want people donating to Wings of Redemption or to Dark Side Phil, then stop giving them attention.
Oh, a perfect
it's
example.
Simple. It's not, to be fair, then it's literally that fucking simple. It is that simple, dude.
But there's a double standard too, because a lot of these channels that talk about them are making money off of them as well. They're monetized reaction channels that are making money. They don't want it to stop. They just want the agitation to continue because, ooh, there's another piece of juicy content. And it's a twisted fucking cycle, and I get it, but don't sit here and say you want them gone when you're making money off of them. And not making little change. We're talking fucking, you're making thousands of dollars a month just to fucking make this guy, take this guy's content and subtly tweak it as a reaction channel. I never understood that double standard.
Like I said, I don't really have a personal beef or really any kind of opinions about those guys because they're just dudes who stream on like YouTube and Twitch, and that's it. I mean, you can say, oh, they're trying to scam people. Well, it's only a scam if you actually give them your fucking money, dumbass.
Thank you.
Simple. Like it's all like again, it's literally that freaking simple. Stop giving them attention. It's like the guy on the side of the street yelling, "We're all gonna die, and the aliens are gonna come steal our sperm." Just don't give them attention. It's literally, I know it's funny, but it's genuinely that simple. DSP is not out here killing millions of people. Wings of Redemption is not out here stealing millions of dollars from taxpayers' wallets. Okay, you people are ridiculously going to just ridiculous freaking links, man. I don't know what other words to use because it's just. And it gets to a point, I'm just sitting there like, okay, they're bad at video games. So fucking what? You ever noticed that the people who are that, I'm just going to go off for about 10 seconds here. Have you noticed that the people who go off the hardest against those guys never showcase their own gameplay in these set games to show how much better they are, yet they constantly talk shit saying, oh, they're the worst gamers ever. It's like, okay, well, why don't you show us how to really do it then? Why don't you become the better streamer and, become the better DSP? Oh, wait, that's right. You're usually just as bad, if not worse than him.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because there have been guys that have said that shit and then they come to find out he's actually not bad at fucking Street Fighter. Say what you want about DSP, but the motherfucker can actually play Street Fighter.
It's funny you say that because when I watched Rings of Redemption, if you actually watch him play, he's actually not the worst Call of Duty streamer out there.
He's just a camper. That's all it is.
The thing about it is, though, that's my problem with Wings. If you want to hear my problem, it's like, bro, you're actually not that bad. Stop complaining. Like, you're actually doing pretty decently. Like, I get it. Everybody on the chat is going to be saying, "Oh my God, you died" every single time and make fun of you. But like, bro, you're not that bad at the game. So
that's the thing. It's one of the things that he feels like he's super good at. Remember, he had that channel, Intense Gaming, emphasis on the word tent for camping. Like it was after that Syndicate thing when and I'm not going to go.
That's his own fault though. That's the thing. That's the difference. I don't hate Wings, but I know it's a lot of his problems. It's the same thing with DSP are kind of his own fault to a certain degree.
It was the toxicity. Let's just be honest, and that comes with youth and stupidity. Like I've watched Phil, and I feel like I can call him Phil because like I've had those. Like he's always been nice to me. I feel like as he's gotten older, he has matured a bit. Yes, he's still got the same mannerisms as DSP. But to some level, Dark Side Phil is not Philip Burnell. Dark Side Phil is a character. Is a caricature at some point. Wings of Redemption, Jordy Jordan Wings is a character to some, like Low Tier God, another one of those guys.
Oh God, not that guy. Jesus Christ.
Low Tier God is a character, I believe, in some. Like, look. I think it's them turned up to fucking 11, and I get that, but they're still characters. Like,
but again, my point. But see, the point about it, Dan, is though, again, these are not dictators out there with fields full of child labor. These are not drug lords out there killing and stealing millions of dollars from people and shit, man. Like, you people have to understand. And look, I get it. It's internet trolls. That's what they're going to do. But for God's sakes, folks, some of the links that these people are going. Do you remember the whole prostitute or whatever thing that happened with DSP, that they claimed he bought this when in reality it was nothing but a gigantic troll trying to extort him for money or some shit? Like, seriously, folks, that is the links that these people will go to fuck with these people. And it's like, dude, they're just bad at video games. That is it. I don't care if DSP says he's the greatest gamer ever. Who cares? Who the fuck cares what Darkside Phil has to say? Who cares if he's bad at Dark Souls 15? I don't give a fuck.
Another thing, like, right, they don't just go after them. They go after their fucking wives. Like, bro, what the? Like, this woman, innocent in all this, you're attacked. She won't even be seen on camera anymore. Phil's wife, because of the shit they've done with her. I mean, fuck, what did they have to do with anything? Like, go back to Wings. Brandy got black. That was the biggest fucking meme with Wings. Like, dude, why are you fucking with these people's, like, significant others? Like,
you're
what
fucking with people's family at that point. And
I get that there's some points where it's funny, right? And I'm not going to sit here and lie. Whenever Wings said, I just wanted to have a good game, have a good time.
Yeah, like, yeah, that shit can be funny out of context, but when you genuinely look at it, though, when you look at the way these people are treated, look, man, you'll have a game. I'll give an example. I've sat down and watched a few of Wing streams and DSP streams. I'll watch it. He'll just sit in there. He'll have a positive attitude about things. He's not calling anybody stupid or all these fucking idiots again. No. He'll just be chilling, not bothering anybody. And then the trolls come in, they start fucking with him. And it's like, dude, you're just intentionally trying to make this person angry or say something stupid or make them read a chat message in a racist tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just trying and doing everything they can to try to antagonize them. And they're doing it. It's like, bro, why? Why do you? I get it. Again, it's trolls. I'm not stupid. I understand. It's trolls. It's what they do. But when you're fucking with people's families, dude, when you're going after somebody's wife who has nothing to do with it, that's when it's like, okay, this isn't trolling anymore. That's not trolling. It's not funny. I haven't
looked into the Wing stuff in so long. I want to say it's almost been a year.
And I haven't kept up with it either. I'm just going by what I've seen.
When I did look back into it, I was disgusted. It was so bad that even one of the head of the troll communities closed shop up. They had a Discord, I believe, or something like that, and they closed it down. They said, "This has gone too far, partner. This is done. Fuck this. I'm over it." And it was done. And I mean, when the head of your community is telling you, this has gone too fucking far, I'm done. That's got to say something. But as far as that goes, I mean, like I said, like you and I are very passionate about, like, we want to have an opinion. We are allowed to have that opinion, but we get stifled when people get upset because we hurt somebody's hug box. We've infiltrated their fucking little bubble. They don't want to hear it.
People just can't handle. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not just gaming. It's you cannot have a difference of opinion anymore because a difference of opinion is seen as, oh, you just hate this game. It's like, no, I don't like it, but I don't hate it. So again, I could sit here, Dan, for 10 hours straight and tell you why I don't like BioShock Infinite. But it doesn't mean suddenly I hate the game and you're not allowed to enjoy it. That's another thing. You're allowed to continue enjoying a game that somebody else dislikes. There is nothing. I have never once in my life told anybody, you are not allowed to enjoy insert thing here. And I never will, because you cannot do that to somebody. Everybody has the freedom to enjoy things the way they want to enjoy it, so long as you're not hurting somebody else. But the problem, Dan, and this is the problem with gaming, since that's my major thing, these people pretend there's nothing wrong with the game. You want an example? I'll give you one right now. Halo Infinite. You are allowed to enjoy Halo Infinite as much as you like, folks. I don't care if you're playing it 16 hours a day, but don't come to me and lie to my face and tell me there's nothing wrong with that game whatsoever. That is my major problem. I could withstand the fake positivity all day, but just don't lie to me. That's a problem. Too many gamers lie about, and again, this is far more than gaming these days, folks, but so many gamers lie and pretend, oh yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with this game. Then you actually play it, and it's like, well, what about replay? Why don't replays work in Halo Infinite right now? Would you like to tell the gaming community about that? No, you don't want to say anything because you don't want 343 to get mad at you. Like, where's your integrity? Seriously, where the fuck is integrity? Where
Well,
the fuck is honesty?
into like, and I like, look, I love Gerard Khalil. I think I've always liked Gerard. I've been watching him for years. I think it's been almost 10 years since he did the Mega Man X video, the first one he ever did. But I felt like now he's more popularized, and he does get branding deals, and he does get free access to games to review and complete. But in my heart, I feel like he's sometimes kisses their asses, and he's not the same completionist that I once enjoyed. And it's not knocking him. I understand you have a business to run, and Nintendo or whoever may not send you the next code if you're super harsh in their game. And even Joe, like I love Joe. He's a Texas boy just like me. And my issue with him is like I feel like he's softened because, well, let's be honest, the Angry Joe community is very toxic. But
well, at the same time, it's their job. I mean, you know, I get it, dude. And the thing is, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, dude. If you make 20 different Fortnite videos a day that get thousands of views, so you can make shit tons of money, hey man, that's your thing, dude. Here's something that again. Do you notice though when I said I'm not a big fan of Angry Joe anymore? I'm not saying you shouldn't watch him. I'm not saying he shouldn't have his job. Like, dude, you can dislike a YouTuber, you can dislike a video game, but it doesn't mean you want them to lose their job or that the game company should be shut down. I'm not. I hate that shit. I really look. It's one thing if we're talking about like 343 Industries. I think they need to be fired. But again, that's just that's my opinion, bro. You don't have to agree with it. You know what I'm saying? But again, here we go, Dan. This is my point. We're having a civil conversation right now. This is not what happens like a good majority of gaming discussions or really any discussions anymore. And I think that's one of our major problems as a society as a whole is communication. And look, I'm guilty. Hey, we're all guilty of fighting over something stupid with somebody. We're all fucking guilty of that shit.
I want to transition into this next topic. We don't always agree on things, and I'm going to make that point now. At my heart, I am a console gamer. I will always be a console gamer. I do have a PC. I do some PC gaming, very rarely now, but
yeah, Dan, that's why on earth would you buy a really nice PC and never use it there, genius?
Like, I do use the what do you think this is done on my edits and everything? We have Sony Vegas. So I do
Dan, that. I bought a 3060 recently, and I've been using this son of a bitch for like 3 weeks straight now. I don't understand that, Dan. I get you're a busy man. That's something that drives me crazy about you, bro. You have a fucking good-ass PC that you could be on streaming and all this other shit, and it's like having a nice car, but you never drive it. I'm sorry, Dan. I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's something that that's a personal pet peeve of mine. It's like, yo, you've got a bomb ass computer and you ain't using it to its full potential. Like that drives me crazy, man.
And the thing is, like, I'm trying to explain with you. We talked about it. Like, it's not negative, and please understand, this is Snow and my banter. That's what we do.
But the thing about it, did you notice, Dan? It's your thing, bro. You do what you want.
Exactly.
Drive me crazy, but guess what? It's your money.
It's But like, and I've already told you, I'm not computer savvy. It's like I am like hell. I've run an entire YouTube channel, multiple from the fucking phone. Like these thumbnails.
Yeah, you actually. I'll test that. He really does do that. It's not
the thumbnails, the videos, everything that I've ever put up.
He does all that bullshit on his phone, people. This man is a phone wizard with his editing skills, yo. I gotta give it up to that. That is seriously
the rebellion symbol, that skull design that is very Bullet Club-esque, all that, the lettering, all that. I did this on my phone with apps on my phone and drawing. I drew a lot of it. I take inspiration from people like cartoons and H2 Delirious and their art style. But what I'm saying is, like, the computers have always just eluded me because, like, Trips, on the other hand, she's like, if you watch anything she's had her hands on, amazing, because she's good at this shit. Like, but me, I'm more of a controller in hand kind of guy. Like, that's just who I am.
Well, how do you think I play my PC games, Dan? I don't hide that. I play most of my games on my PC with a controller because it just feels more comfortable for me. I've never had a problem with that either. It's unless we're talking about a game from like 20 years ago, but yeah, like I'm telling you, Dan, it's not as complicated. Look, Dan, if my dumbass can figure out how to do this,
well, see, there's
no reason you can't.
That's the other part I want to get into. You notice shit that I wouldn't even think about. Like, you can see 60 FPS and go, "Oh my god, I don't even notice that shit." If it looks pretty to me, cool, let's play it, let's do it. you are so in tune with that shit that I find it awesome, and that's the audience I want that to see your shit because
Well,
you're
I'm a
so
frame rate
good.
whore, anyways.
You are
I
a fucking
prefer
frame
frame
rate
rates
whore.
over graphics to be be fair with you, anyways. That's just who I mean, that's the half the reason I got my PC is because I was tired of consoles not having 60 FPS be at least a basic feature, you know. So that's
you literally, because we would play Fallout 76 on PlayStation, and you
oh
literally
god.
were like, "Fuck this shit! I
It's
hate this game.
so
It's so garbage."
laggy, and the fucking FOV was god. Jeez,
6 months later, dude, I love Fallout 76. What happened? Oh, I'm playing it on PC now. I'm
yeah. See, you
like,
see.
you.
Well, you know what, Dan? I can't. I have to play. I have to have a good frame rate. I have to have a good frame rate, a good, FOV. I have to have it, Dan. I've been spoiled by it, and I have no shame whatsoever because it's fucking awesome. My 3060 is amazing, Dan, and I am so disappointed you're not playing them with PC, dude.
I have no issue with that because you have standards and you will stick by those standards no matter what. And it's not just gaming, people. I know you, I've known you for like years now. We've been friends.
Yeah.
And there are people in your life that you have cut out because they were not quality people because you know, and I think we've learned this as we've gotten older, that if you're not going to be a quality person, you're not part of my life. And that's the thing. You are consistent in everything you do. And that's what I love about
quality, Dan. It's just, can I trust you? Can you be a decent human being to me? That's it, dude. I'm a man of simple tastes. Okay. I don't need 50,000 friends. I just need a couple that I can trust. Like Koopa, for example. That motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll put a link to Koopa's channel when he fucking gets his shit together and fucking
whenever he decides to upload.
But
I'm not.
So I wish that, and again, to just go off on a little bit of a tangent as far as Koopa goes. I love Koopa. Koopa's an amazing, fun content creator. And I'll just behind the fourth wall. Snow's thumbnail here. I made that for him the other day because he wanted something new. We were redesigning the artwork because we do have a gaming channel here. We just haven't uploaded because we just haven't had time. But I wanted something consistent with what we were doing, so I made Snow a thumbnail. So because he's not a big camera person, cool, that's fine.
Yeah,
Koopa saw your thumbnail and he goes, "Well, that was awesome. I made one for Koopa."
Well, like I said, you're a freaking wizard with this crap, dude. You do it in like less than a day. It's ridiculous.
So I saw that, and I'm hoping that Koopa comes back because, like, if you watch him, he's one of the most pure individuals you ever meet. I just wish that he had your brashness at times, but then he wouldn't be Koopa. So it's a double-edged sword.
Well, he's Canadian too. I mean, they're not exactly brash over there in Canada. So that's just how. I mean, and then that's why I like him because he's level-headed. But he can. But the thing about it is, with Koopa, is he can be super fucking real behind closed doors. I just don't think he wants to do that for a video. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for Koopa, so I'm not going to. But from my personal experience, Koopa is just a very laid back and chill guy. And
we've tried to bottle that magic so many times with him because the thing about Koopa that makes him funny is when he's not being recorded. His best stuff is not recorded. His best stuff is with you, me, Trips, his significant other, and then him just being himself.
Well, why do you think I've been playing Grand Theft Auto with him recently?
But that's what I'm saying. If he didn't know he was being recorded, that would be amazing. If we could bottle that magic and just be like, "Here, Koopa, take this, put it on your channel." It would be great, and people would fall in love with him as we have because he's just a beautiful human being in general. But he's just so real. Like he's a kid. Like he's always going to be a kid at heart, hardworking guy. Like I mean, it's a wonderful human being, but a hilarious, just natural, like inviting person. Like when you really start talking to him and you find out more about him, and he just like his rages, like,
oh dear God, the rage, man. I'm telling you, this is the reason why I want you to come play on PC with us, because I've been playing GTA with him on PC, and it's just been one hilarious night after another with him, Dan. I'm telling you, dude, that guy is so fucking funny. And like when we're playing, dude, if I had been recording all the stuff we had, dude, I could make my own Vanos Grand Theft Auto 5 compilation style videos, dude. Like me and him just go completely ape shit in Grand Theft Auto together, and he's just fucking hilarious, and I love that guy to death. I compare him to Butters from South Park.
Oh my God, yes. Okay,
so not in a disrespectful way.
No. If you and I are Stan and Kyle, right? He's definitely Butters.
But the reason I say that though is because he is such a pure-hearted person. There's not a negative bone in that boy's body at all. He is the embodiment of a friendly, upbeat Canadian.
Oh
And
my God, if we could get him to say, I'm trying to get these bitches to make money, I'd be done.
I'm telling you, he's the kind of guy, if he says something like that, it's just hilarious. You don't expect it. But that's
So,
again,
Cooper,
this is the reason why I like him, because he's not a fake. He's not bullshitting you. He's just himself. And that's another thing I don't see a lot of these days, is people are too afraid to be themselves. They have to join insert community here because, oh, well, if I join this, I'll be cool. It's like, no, just be who you want to be, dude. And originality, having an actual personality. Oh God, can't have that these days, you know? Like that stuff that's part of the reason why I think you like my videos, and a lot of people do, is because I don't bullshit you.
Okay, so we talked about you being on hiatus over time, but you've recently, and that's why we're doing this interview now. That's why we're having this conversation, because you've come back and you're going to start doing content again. One of the last things I saw you did was on the downfall or the end of a Cartoon Network, I believe.
Well, the channel was basically being merged, I think. I had thought that the channel was being completely removed. But I think it was like 1,000 or so, or 10,000, some crazy number of people lost their jobs, basically. And basically the channel that, I had grown up with was gone.
But that's what I'm talking. That's what I want to get at. Like, yes, you talk about video games. Yes, you're very opinionated. But you were talking about stuff from like my childhood and from your childhood, and things that people aren't talking about. People are so concerned about this, and this, that we're losing a lot of the simple things that we enjoyed as kids. And you were so passionate about that.
Well, because it's meaningful to me. I think about, you got to understand, Dan, I'm a 90s guy. Okay. I grew up in the generation where right before smartphones we had internet back then, but it was nothing like today.
No.
Back then there wasn't, I didn't have a cell phone until I was like almost a senior. Well, I had a cell phone, but I didn't have a smartphone, let's say that, until I was damn near a senior in high school, dude, in 2012. So I'm one of the last you too, Dan, you're one of the last people in the last generations where we didn't have smartphones. We learned about real history. God, man, that's a whole nother can of worms, dude. I'm about to go into a whole nother shit there, but you get my point.
No, I do.
We were one of the last generations that actually had like real people in it. We weren't faking things for social media clout. We weren't pretending. People will always pretend to be this, that, and shit. When I was in middle school,
the number of Twitter followers you had, it was not important back then.
You weren't also taking pictures of your food. You weren't taking selfies all day. You weren't trying to be big on TikTok. It was just people being people. Like whenever you see those videos, I don't know if you've seen these, Dan, where they show like McDonald's in 1987 or something, those YouTube videos, you just see people being people. People are outside. People are actually enjoying life. People aren't on their phones all day. People were just people. That was it. That was just people living their life. Not like today. It was such a different world. And basic shit, like again, just being honest about what you like, what you don't like, people you like, people you don't like. You had that back then. You had the free, you could say almost anything. You had actual freedom of speech, regardless of where you were, where you came from, what your.
It was a time when you didn't have to worry about what came out of your mouth. And like, look, I will say this, that there is some need for some criticizing, but not to the extreme we've had it. But there was a time when you could speak about something, or you didn't have to worry about what you said in the past coming back to bite you in the ass, or you could, like, we grew, we learned, we made mistakes. It was okay to flop.
Nobody got canceled either. That was another thing. There was no, I don't like what you said on this Twitter post, so I'm going to make sure you can never get a job ever again. That never fucking happened back then. It happened with TV stuff every once in a while. You had like people recording things, and it was shown on TV, blah, blah, blah. But to the extent that it's happening today, none of that shit happened back then. And that's part of the reason I don't, and then that's another part of the reason why I stopped uploading YouTube videos, because that's all it was. If you told the truth about something, it wasn't, okay, I disagree with this, but I'm not going to do it. No, it was, we're going to destroy your entire life because we don't like what you said. We're going to send a SWAT team to your house. We're going to fucking make sure you can never get a job again. This is the type of shit I don't like, dude.
The worst thing, and we've talked about this before, I'm not going to say the word because it's an ugly word and it doesn't need to be really said, but there's a P, a word begins with the letter P. And I hate the fact that, and you know what I'm talking about, that word.
Unfortunately, yeah, I know
that
exactly
word has been fucking, like, the strength of that word has been taken away, because if you do anything wrong, people immediately go there.
Well, if they go there, they call you racist. They call you every other buzzword of the week because that's all they have. That's all they can do. It's lies. It's just there because, oh, I want to look like I'm on the right side of whatever, And again, people aren't being real. And again, the worst part about that, though, I wouldn't mind it so much if people wouldn't just instantly blindly believe what they're saying and take it as 100% fact. Nobody ever question. There's another thing that drives me crazy. Nobody questions anything anymore. Nobody asks any questions. They just go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I believe you 100%." No, I don't need any proof. It's like it's the Salem witch trials again, where we have yet to. That's something that just really makes me sad. We have yet to grow as a society to move out of what is the Salem witch trial? Was 1700, 1600, something like that. We are one major power outage away from being in the 1800s again. That's how far back mentally we've gone in the last.
We regressed. In my opinion, we regressed so far back.
It is honestly, and I know that may be a little, exaggerative, but honestly, it feels like that. It feels like every single day I look at the dumb shit people do. They post online, they say all this crap, and I'm like, I'm sorry, is this 2023 or is this 1773? I thought we had matured past this stupid shit, but I guess not. I guess common sense thinking, just can't have that these days. And again, I'm not trying to act like everything I'm saying is perfect here, folks. I'm not perfect in any way, but for God's sakes, think about what you're about to post. If you see something that looks ridiculous, question it. For God's sakes, ask questions, folks. Have an open mind to a certain degree. That's all I'm saying, man. Think, have common sense. That's really it, dude. I'm not asking for much here, folks. But that you know me, Dan. I don't ask.
No, I 100% agree with you. I mean, we don't agree on everything, but I agree with that. But that being said, we're coming up to that end mark. I hope you guys have seen why I enjoy talking to the man to my right here. He's always been like a joy as a friend, and like I said, it took a long time for us to. It didn't. To be honest with we fucking pretty much hit it off. And once we hit it off, it was fucking on and popping. And we haven't looked back. And I'm grateful. And I just want y'all to hopefully appreciate him the way I do. Like, he's just.
And even if you don't, I hope you can at the very least come out of this with a mature way of disagreeing. And look, I'm all for disagreements, but give me what do you want to call it? Constructive criticism, folks.
Well, and give him a fair opportunity, right? Maybe you don't agree with one thing, but like I said, he and I don't agree on everything, but we agree on other things. And we've always been able to have that civil discussion. There's nothing wrong with civil discourse or civil debate. You're fucking human beings, and we grow from those learning moments. And that being said, Snow, your channel is going to be in the description. Is there anything you want to express about what you do on your channel and what you want people to know about you as a person before we get out of here?
Well, I'm just going to let you know right now, if you think anything's going to change from the moment I hit that record button on my channel, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because I am the same person that I am here right now as I am in my videos. That's something I want people to know. I'm not going to be any different off camera or on camera. I'm just who I am at all times. And for some people, they don't like it. Others, they love it. So that's just who I am, though. So get used to it. That's not going away anytime soon.
All right. That being said, Snow, thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. It's like we're friends. This is not the last time we're going to talk, but I wanted people to see who you are, why I love you so much. But we're going to close.
Some of this made sense. Hopefully, my ramblings actually made some sort of semblance.
Look, it flies by every time we talk. We're almost at an hour, so
yeah, exactly.
That being said, I'm Dan. He's Snow, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Later, yo.